Hi everyone, welcome back to Rogue Trader, Void Shadows DLC. Just loaded up and thought, well, picked up loads of loot when we were down on Euphrates 2. Let's see if we can max out the last reputation, which is the Drusians, and I can. And we get power armor. So everything's maxed out now. You don't have power armor, do you? Damn it. Would it be any good anyway? There's 2 AP and plus 2 MP. You have to kill an enemy. No, not really. I mean, it's not that great. Plus 20 strength is okay. But look at that. Minus 2 AP to reload. Minimum 1. That's really good for his heavy weapon. Although, I doubt he's ever going to use all 16 shots in any battle. Anyway, that's all I've done. As you can see. Wow. I just loaded in. I went straight there. Like 1400 or something rep I got. Oh. Euphrates 2 has been done. Excuse me. Oh, I've got Java camp to go to. So let's go and do that. Should be close-ish, I think. Yeah, it's just there. I will have a battle on the way. Pasqal needs us. Your Lordship, the Choir Master is reporting that the Astropaths have received a signal. It states the following. Ark Mechanicus Hermetico is calling unit Pasqal Hanuman. Directive visit. Priority ahead of the queue. Priority ahead of the queue. Purpose. Discontinuing the cycle. And followed by a set of coordinates. According to my data, the lost sacred vessel Hermetico is the flagship, headquarters, and last confirmed location of Archmagus Abenat. I hereby request permission to immediately embark on the expedition. Pasqal, why are you being summoned to that ship? No data available. No hypotheses are available. The justification is irrelevant. If the blessed Abenat summons me, I must comply with the directive. Chart the course to the transmitted coordinates. I am coming, Mentor. So where is that? System Speculo. All the way back down there. Okay. I forgot to actually talk to him on the bridge. And do a quick round robin of all the people. I think I've finished everybody's quests. Jai was really early. Cassia was the other episode. Cabela was just recently done. Abelard was early. Deer's done. Yeah, this is. I think this is the end of Pasqal's quest.
The Omniscient knows all, comprehends all.
Okay, nothing here.
Your labors be
Nothing about that. Oh, an exalted spinner. What are you doing? Glory to the dominance, loud as to rise and flourish. Glory to the viziers, giving us blood to drink and plenty. Okay, oh, that's right, because they're not hiding anymore. That's correct. How are you? Okay. Able just being able. Didn't get to have a bath with all four. What I didn't do? Can't remember. During the warp journey, the Augurs discovered a strange object that had been following the rogue trader's voidship for several hours. Judging by the distorted telemetry, it was a strangely shaped vessel of Xeno origin. The unidentified pursuer tried to approach the voidship several times, allowing the Augurs to observe this shimmering energy sails unfurled among the shifting currents of the warp. The strange chase ended after the mysterious ship vanished in the depths of the Sea of Souls. Can't remember if I had that one before. A frigate belonging to the Wordbearers disgorges a horrifying landing party on the colony. A small number of careless space marines level everything in their path. Lose 2 weapons, like complacency, but 2 people are lost. Urge the people to flee, or people to hide in shelters. Form militia. Let's get the complacency. Oh, massive hit. The Wordbearers effortlessly exterminate the thoroughly outmatched defenders and depart, their bloodlust sated. The memory of the fallen defenders' heroism remains in people's hearts. Ah. -4. Oops. Nothing to be done there. What else? Oh, Foulstone. Foulstone, Foulstone, Foulstone. Well, I'm going there anyway, aren't I? Echo of Recad. My Norris. That we let burn. First big heretical decision we made, I think. Okay. It is not Sotos Tomb. System Speculo. We have to go to yet again. Get to there from a Solar Prophecy. Adamat 2. Tenebris Aquae. Okay, so I've just gone berserk. There's a muse, just look more vibrant colours than before. And just more. I'm running the because OBS lost all my settings. I couldn't use the noise reduction from Nvidia. I still can't.
I always have a backup plan.
But I am running the studio version of the drivers, or the game ready version of the drivers. So maybe that's what the difference is.
You will beg for mercy.
But the colours do seem, to me anyway, because I'm colourblind though, they do seem more vibrant. Well, she starts off with 30 tactical advantage. Okay.
The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all.
High momentum.
How much is this free? Yes. Got 47, so this will be 80% extra damage. Gets extra bullets as well.
You've got a problem, I've got a problem. I want a medal for that one.
Can't reload because it's 1 AP. Can't buff Cassia either because I'm out of range. Oh, out of line of sight. Look at Buffy Deva though. Got the Cassia. Let's get the usuals.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Finest hour.
I'll show
Jelly
you
bobs.
why navigators are feared.
And she can actually do an attack as well. Range. Kind of missed one, but hit lots of others.
I'm not accustomed to the fury of House Orcellion.
It's gonna burn. Do those. Now I did give Jelly Bobs the yeah, he's got all his movement now. Okay. That's strange.
High momentum. I'll see to it personally. Accept your loss.
Try to die with grace, at least.
There we go.
For my might.
I didn't get to use my
Let us not
new sword. But that will come soon, I'm sure. Don't need trophies anymore, or cargo, because everything's maxed out. Says, oh, maggots in the water. Okay. The thorns, okay, here. Some damage. See some speculo. During the warp voyage, the Navigator's Sanctum reported there are warp reefs right on the ship's course. Fragments of the Sea of Souls give material form. The Navigator might either steer the ship past the dangerous region or risk approaching the ragged formation to gain valuable insight. Approach the warp reef. Following the Lord Captain's orders, the Navigator's instructions, the voidship approached the warp reefs. Gain 6 insight and passed the sharp formation without brushing against a single one. No one on board noticed anything in particular. Becoming a momentous event for the Navigator, gained a special understanding of warp emanations. Explorator flotillas. They're talking to us? Your Lordship, hailing the ships surrounding the Hermetico's wreck led to receiving the following transmission. We are the Cognizant Fleet. We praise the Messiah of discontinuing. We remain in prayer. We remain on standby. Let the cycle be discontinued. The Messiah knows all, comprehends all. We are the Cognizant Fleet. We praise the Messiah of discontinuing. Pasqal, looks like a gathering of believers in discontinuing the cycle. Confirmed. The number of adherents of discontinuing the cycle does not correspond with earlier prognosis. The willingness to declare one's commitment to the teachings of Blessed Amanat is anomalous. This unit is intrigued. Is there anything unusual about these ships? Yes, your Lordship. We pick up traces of recent combat on many of the vessels. Numerous traces. Thank you. Based on the initial radiation background assessment, it appears that Adeptus Mechanicus weapon has been used against them. I hypothesize that the schism with the Cognizant's fleet has reached a climax. My tech comrades raised arms against one another. It is with sorrow that I've registered this information in the archive. Patching one of the captains. It will be done, your Lordship. Request denied. We received only the message voiced earlier. Request a landing. We have received the standard denial of request message, your Lordship. What outrageous impudence. Leave him alone. And get to Mechanicus Hermetico. Your Lordship, according to the ship's registry, we're looking at the Ark Mechanicus Hermetico. Beautiful fox signal coming from her. Permission granted. May the Messiah of Discontinuing reveal the way to a safe docking gate. Oh, you know, use your eyes. The raspy voice of the person recording the message is vaguely familiar to you. You cannot put your finger on it. Requesting the right to participate in the first boarding party. Evaluating shuttle docking options. Is there a safe docking spot? Not at the moment, Your Lordship. The damage to the hull makes observations difficult, and surviving vacuum locks are sealed shut. I hypothesize that a proper vacuum lock may be opened using my personal access code. Justification: a message from the Ark Mechanicus. What do we know about the ship? Each Ark is a sanctuary for the Adeptus Mechanicus. Every such ship is a relic. They are incredibly ancient, made to search for the sacred standard template construct patterns. Legends tell of entire forge worlds that were literally disassembled for parts to make such vessels. In any case, she's a ruin of our former glory. We observe numerous traces of internal decompression, but not a single sign of aggression carried out from the outside. For what it's worth, some of the decks look intact, at least from the outside. We're also picking up some strange radiation emanating from the hull. We believe the ship has been in the procession of the damned for a long time, which is a weird kind of not quite warp space, not quite real space, where lots, like thousands and thousands of ships just hulks. It's all follow a line and one after another. Thousands and thousands and thousands of years, something like that anyway. Assemble the boarding crew. It will be done, Your Lordship. Yep. Sorry, Abelard, I've hardly ever used you. Since Act 1 or 2.
Is there money to be made?
I have to see. The whole of the ship feels strangely familiar to me. Oh, Abel's here. Quite mysterious as always, Abel Hanuman's demeanour is a mixture of cautiousness and curiosity as he inspects the ship's ruined interior. When you approach him, he acknowledges you by saying softly, "Death's footsteps were heard here." My tech comrade insisted on taking part in this excursion. This is as much a priority mission for him as it is for me. We are both expecting to meet our mentor, Amanat. Abel? Why did you decide to come with us? The cycle is on the verge of being discontinued. Doubt has opened its more wide. Bidden is enter. Do you understand what's going on here? Abel averts his eyes in embarrassment and says, almost shyly, a hunter is coming, which we heard in the previous episode. But not conjoined, but the Gemini'd pair. They're talking about the hunter as well. The masked hunter, was it? The maimed hunter. The maimed hunter. Pasqal places a mechadendrite claw on Abel's shoulder, demanding an answer. Abel nods. The maimed hunter. That persona occurred in the data I decrypted. Unfortunately, the sum total of information on it is very near zero. Oh, bollocks, I forgot. The thing we picked up on Euphrates 2. Those sticks of data. I don't know what that's for. Yeah, these data crypts. I wonder if I can use them with Nomos. Maybe I missed something. That
Rise to the top or you're left in the dust.
The cogitator's screen glows faintly. You take a closer look and realise it's been gutted. Its innards replaced with candles, the gas glints and black plexiglass. Excuse me. This vessel is furnished throughout with extraordinarily ancient and sacred mechanisms. What a great temple it used to be. The noble warriors' armor and automatics are undamaged. Yet why are they dead? What killed them? Is it Scutari or just a... majestic metal statue is frozen in a menacing combative pose.
Always keep your eye on the price.
Ancient warrior's flesh was once enhanced with priceless automatics. They're dormant now. I feel as though I'm walking through a crime scene, says Pasqal. These barbarians are pillaging the ship's supplies. I'm registering a Category 9 blasphemy. I'm registering evidence of that a Volkite carbine was fired here. I'm registering protocol violation. Use of weapons by Adeptus Mechanicus soldiers inside one of the ship's bays.
Keep your wits about you.
There's a shaman. Something to use. Turret gun. The barbaric inscriptions, blasphemy profaning the flesh of the sacred machine, echo the words of the Requiem of Reverence shutdown. Let the cycle be discontinued, I guess.
I always keep my options open.
Let us see what I found.
The handprints and footprints indicate the locals have turned the sacred immigrant tank into something like a ritual font. If we lift it, it's plus 30 strength. If you not move the previous turn, their ranged attacks with heavy weapons deal plus 50 damage until the end of the turn. And a filtered gas mask. Plus 25 athletics and become immune to toxin. They're not bad.
Is there money to be made?
Could have been good for Abelard. Recognize the pattern of a chant, the imitator and reactor shutdown vigil. Something simply ordered the spirit of this machine to die. Tribesman avoids your gaze and makes a strange gesture, probably some kind of ritual as you approach. This is odd. See scratch marks from the serval claw on this venerable Scaratius' armor.
Let us know, Dawdle.
I'm registering residual traces of paper combustion inside this cogitator's casing. Did they fuel this repository of knowledge with books? What kind of paranoia drove the crew to place a cannon platform here? Very hard to the ship. Pasqal is confused, the chief. The lean, hunchbacked man studies you with a piercing gaze. One of his eyes looks you up and down, the other's being replaced by a bulky automatic, adorned ancient and adorned with gold, but is deactivated for some reason. He speaks in a dry voice. The ghosts of nothingness have entered the deck of the Akgen tribe. Akgen. Something generator? Something reactor? Obviously, over the decades or hundreds of years, changed the words. We're here to look for someone. The man shrugs indifferently, his voice is tinged with sympathy. Doesn't matter, you're ghosts. Take a closer look. The middle-aged man carries a potentia coil on his shoulders, after the manner of tech priests. It is held in place by straps. It's not connected to anything. His weight has given him a hunched back. One of his arms has been replaced by an exquisite tech scribe Ark, but the quills and styli are incredibly dull, as though they've been scraped against bare rock, and the limb's servo motor is dormant. The sight of the mangled augmetic elicits a pained grimace from Pasqal. I am registering evidence of precious true flesh being operated in unacceptable conditions. The markings indicate that this sacred metal was fashioned many centuries ago on blessed Mars. Putting it to such crude and careless use is an insult to the Omnissiah. Who are you? The undertakers of the world expired and the great discontinuing of the cycle. The mourners holding an eternal requiem for the universe. Fascinated by the answer, Pasqal says quietly, let the cycle be discontinued. A wan, condescending smile graces the man's lips. It was discontinued a long time ago. Do you believe the world has perished? This statement is true. The world ceased to exist a very long time ago. It turned to nothingness, to ashes. All that's left of these ruins, the last shard of the universe, is cenotaph. Now, if they've been in the void for a long, long time, centuries by the sound of it, I'm not surprised they're a bit like that. What do you think destroyed the universe? Unthinkable was wrought. The cycle was discontinued. This tribesman's mind is full of nothing of the most unenlightened superstition. Why does this unit seemingly know less than some primitive barbarian? Was that good or bad? Neither. Just happened. But it was a grievous event, and we grieve. Is that why you call us ghosts? Yes, there's only nothingness outside this ship. Sometimes it spits out ghosts born out of the world's ashes, and they wander in. The sight of you saddens us, for we mourn you. Alas, there's nothing we can do to help you, since you do not exist. I see. The man sighs and makes a sign with his hand that is vaguely reminiscent of a tech priest's gesture to ward off evil. Pasqal, what do you make of these people? Hypothesis. This primitive community is made up of descendants of the low-ranking technomats who once serviced this deck. The name Akgen derives from category Akgen. AC stands for Acolyte category, which service the main decks. Gen refers to a service staff who is assigned general as opposed to specialized maintenance duties. The man looks at you and Pasqal with indifference. Does not seem to have understood a single word. How do you survive here and what do you do? We hold a vigil for all of existence, and the spirits of the mechanisms give us water, food, and nutrient mix. We thank them with the rights of machine service in the maintenance, so commands the great entity. I'm registering multiple deviations from the catechism of maintenance and operation in the actions of these units. Hypothesis. The breaches of sacred instructions do not stem from malicious lapse into heresy. They are consequence of the right having been lost to memory, a grave heresy but not as profane. The voice from the Vox is full of sorrow and reproach. Who or what is the great entity? The supreme deity, spirit of wisdom and revelations. It bears the name Manat, obviously Amanat. The name grabs Pasqal's attention. He says sternly, I'm registering a meaningful linguistic pattern. Requesting all available information on Manat. Marnat is the divine being of great wisdom. It was this great wisdom that discontinued the cycle, and all who had partaken of it lapsed into nothingness. We never partook of that wisdom, which is why we exist. I have nothing to tell you about it, Ghost. You talk to us. Your kinfolk do not. Why? I am the Fabricator General. My shoulders bear the sacred burden of leadership. The man shifted his shoulders, bent under the potential core resting upon them. The others fear you, as ghosts can carry the living away into nothingness. But I am protected by Marnat's grace. Pasqal's roar was like a blazing alarm of an extractor. Fabricator General, I am registering heresy. The man listens to the tech priest's outburst without flinching. The universe must have a Fabricator General, the supreme priest of the Omnissiah. There is none other to hold that title, therefore it is mine. Have you seen anything unusual lately? The echo of an old crime was heard beneath the arching vaults of our home. The tribesman nods at you gloomily. A ghost of nothingness walked among us, of like appearance to you, but without a face. He spoke words that must not be spoken, and then penetrated the chamber of observers, and our abode was shaken by the wrath of the gods for days. We felt as though we were drifting through nothingness. So start up the engines to jump here. Pasqal lowered his head and said quietly, "That is him, my mentor, Amanat." What did he look like? His brow bore the mark of sorrow and past misdeeds, and his voice was like seeping sand. Was he alone? Let's whisper. Press whisper. From the Inquisitor's retinue, we saw him. He was the one who was like a tech priest. No, other ghosts walked with him, but he alone had a mind and a will. The others did his bidding. What is the Chamber of Observers? An abode of deities and mighty spirits, secluded from mortals. The man points towards the main entrance of the lift shaft. Down this great tube, they used to descend to the mortals. Now they've all retired to the House of Observers, the calm and keen-sighted, there to remember and mourn the world that once was. The unit has given us a distorted description of the observatorium. Obeyed the house the Hermeticus bridge. There, under a grand dome of glasscrete, the wisest hierarchs of the depths of Mechanicus spend time in reflection and strive to discern the omniscience guiding science in the glitter of the stars. Pasqal hesitates, then adds worriedly, "Correction, this data is a hypothesis. An archive search yielding no confirmation of this data. My possession of it is an anomalous cognitive fluctuation. I want to get in there." Abandon this thought. Your kind can't go in there. The great tube was made for the travels of gods, not mortals. Only one who has the blessing of Pref, the great spirit who rules this deck, may approach the great tube. But even such a one who will have tried in vain. The great chief spirits have sealed its gate and will only open it to those who know the divine word. And the rust wraiths ensure that humans don't steal the word. They'll make short work of any thief. The rust wraiths, that'll be the Skitari we see frozen around. Who is the spirit Pref? The master of this deck, the second most important god after Marnat. Mortals cruelly betrayed his trust once, and hasn't talked to them, or protected them since. Pref only ever answers the shaman's invocations, and only occasionally at that. The tribesman profane speculations most likely describe an important machine spirit that remains awake. Request a conversation with the unit identified as the shaman. Divine word. What divine word? Words command all of existence. The gods ruled the universe using words of power. At a time when mortals too were granted knowledge of them, but that time died along with the world. Hypothesis. The term divine word refers to a command litany. A thorough understanding of the situation aboard the Hermetico will allow me to select the correct litany and recite it to the mechanisms that is still operational. What are the rust wraiths? The man points at one of the motionless statues. The ancient ones, the servants of the gods. They used to be the gods' great warriors. Now they guard the peace of this universal cemetery. See to it that mortals don't challenge the divine order. The Skitarii, the deck guard. These immortal servants are an elite detachment of the crew blessed with the most ancient and wondrous augmatic enhancements. They could survive in a sleeping state for centuries even. After a brief pause, a whisper comes from his vox. Their presence here is unusual. Typically, the immortals only leave the storage chapel on special orders from the bridge. So how did the faceless ghost get in? He knew the secret. The spell was not of divine origin. Its power surpassed that of the gods. It was born in the mysterious depths of irregularity. And soon after a mortal first altered it, the world was no more. Hang on a sec. I'm just getting some stuff on my phone. Singing from conflict to his own gig. What a fucking surprise. Colin's a dick. Pasqal waves a Becca-dendrite at him in annoyed dismissal and says impatiently, "The blessed Amanat can command any mechanism on his ship. The doctrinal heresy uttered by the unit is unworthy of attention." Your guesses are amazingly spot on, Pasqal. Tech Priest is taken aback. He pauses to think, then says with no great confidence, "The statement is false. Each of the hypotheses was logically deduced from our present situation." You do seem to have a lot of knowledge about this ship, though. I see. Good. Don't seek to enter the God's abode, Ghost. There's no place for you. Farewell, Ghost. I hope nothingness summons you back into its embrace soon.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
And you just say like it seems like you've been here before. Okay. We'll talk to the shaman. The elderly tech shaman looks up at you with dim eyes. He smells strongly of exhaust fumes. Have you come to speak to the great Pref, Ghosts? Pref will not speak your lesser tongue. I can help. I can interpret. Look at the tech shaman. The Asian barbarian's skin is covered with tattoos of mechanisms, as if the ink drawings of cogs could pass for actual augmatics. Wires and scraps of flex tubing are braided into his hair, as well as shards from a broken data slate screen. Cogitator circuit boards hang on threads from large ceremonial drum. I am registering category 6, 7 and 8 blasphemies in this tribesman's vestments. Only enlightened tech priests are authorized to dismantle and interact with the bodies of sacred machines, and painting the skin a crude imitation of true flesh is a profane mockery. It is how I venerate the iron spirits who have done their duty and passed into nothingness, Ghost. I do this in the hope that I might gain some of their wisdom. The statement is false. I am not registering any veneration. Who is Pref? Our deck's great patron spirit, and who protects it and watches over everything that happens on it. Pref used to be a kind father to us until wicked people tricked him. That was when he disowned the mortals who lived here. He wiped the names of everyone he used to be under his patronage from his memory, and no longer recognized their faces. Since then, Pref has been a harsh and cruel-hearted master who is deaf to our prayers. Pref. Hypothesis. The barbarian is using this debased designation to refer to a prefect enumerator, an especially sacred cogitator served by all the deck's junior machine spirits. I'm registering a category 6 blasphemy. Spiceman claims to communicate with it. Only enlightened adepts of the Messiah are permitted to interact directly with the prefect enumerator. Hypothesis. The part of the legend that speaks of disowning the mortals and forgetting their faces describes the removal of access rights from authorized units. For reasons unknown, the prefect enumerator was ordered to cease accepting commands from outsiders. How do you talk to Pref? The tech shaman raises The roaring mechanical sensor inhales a lungful of aromatic exhaust fumes. His eyes grow dim, and he puts a hand on his drum. His fingers strike a taut synthetic leather with remarkable deftness and rhythm, like this. Pasqal frowns and says darkly, "I'm registering a cata... Blast it, layman. This blessed smoke is meant for the sacred machines, not your lungs." Then the tech priest falls silent and listens carefully before uttering in astonishment. This primitive melody is a language, our language, a variety of rhythm-based tech vernacular in which meaning is created by the lengths of pauses between the signals. We have come to bleed for breath's benevolence. Every word you say is accompanied by a series of quick drum taps, a complex choppy rhythm. Crackling comes in response from a vox hidden somewhere inside the wall. The tech shaman tilts his head and says, "The great pref would like to know who's speaking to him." The prefect enumerator is running an identification procedure. Given the existing data on the machine spirit's refusal to follow orders within the chain of command, I predict the standard identifiers will be assigned a low priority. If the machine spirit speaks a tech priest language, do we even need the old man? The statement is false. The idiom is a distinctive vernacular most likely only used by the ship's crew. This is intuitively familiar to this unit, but not intelligible. Introduce yourself formally. This unit is Magar's Explorator Pasqal Hanuman, a member of the Cognizance fleet, presenting doctrinal compliance and algorithmic obedience certificates. The indicator on Pascal's neural cogitator glows. New data lights up Pascal's neurospheric aura that no layperson can see. The tech shaman translates Pascal's words into quick taps on his drum, his dangling circuit boards jingling dramatically. He inhales the aromatic exhaust of his roaring sensor, listens carefully, and says in a strained voice, "Pref asks why he should treat your words with respect and not scorn them." Pascal's voice becomes dry and bristly. Machine spirits requesting to know this unit's access privileges. He refuses to submit to a stranger's will without compelling reason. Machine spirits can be capricious and undisciplined. After years without sanctified maintenance, this one may have forgotten all about obedience. Normally, in a case like these, a tech priest would bring a wayward spirit to its senses, with a shock from an electric prod, or a blow from a wrench, accompanied by a litany of uninterruptible obedience. I think a show of force is in order, to show this machine its place. This statement is true. Pasqal extends a hand towards the machine, which is enveloped in a shower of sparks. The crack in the tech priest's armored respirator shines a bright green. There is a steel in his voice. "My power is my authorization. Acknowledge it, or you will regret it, wayward spirit." The tech shaman shouts out in fear and shakes his drum frantically. Pref acknowledges your power ghost. He does. Yes, why you seek his friendship. The pained rattle comes from Pascal's box as he touches the crack in his armor, which is no longer glowing. He looks as though he has a southern toothache and says with effort, "Hypothesis? The prefect enumerated request is to be interpreted as, what is the purpose of your visit?" Tell him on your mission from Amanat. Perhaps the spirit knows who he is. I've followed the orders of my mentor, Ark Mechanicus Hermetico, and corrected a mistake made decades ago. The tech shaman listens to the crackling coming from the hidden vox in response and shakes his head contritely. Great Pref does not recognize the name or your face. He will not grant you his friendship and bids you to leave. Pascal's vox hisses angrily and he shakes his head. The prefect enumerator's reaction is anomalous. Such disregard for regalia can only be explained by a protocol signifying extreme danger to the vessel. Okay. Let's see if I can get through that and get a different response. Show of force. You know the answer yourself, Pasqal. I've come to discontinue the cycle. Nope, doesn't recognize you. Try again. Tell it something profound and spiritual and invoke the Omnisire. I am fulfilling my sacred duty of service to the machine god. I intend to protect this blessed ship and the servants of the Omnisire aboard it. Nope. So it's none of those.
Keep your wits about you.
So, introduce himself, force, and then all the options don't work. The ancient servitor seems dead. The infrequent twitching of his head is the only glimmer of life left in him. The numerous augmatic regalia embedded in the body of the servant of the Messiah speaks of his high standing and devoutness. Can you activate him, Pasqal? Tech priest carefully touches the servitor's withered body with his mechadendrites. Data spikes slide out of them and sink into the servitor's augmatics. Pasqal's vox sounds thoughtful and slightly puzzled. I identify this unit as Magos Logis Hectodon 11. This unit received 7 commendations for advances in astrography, recorded in the Fleet Archive. The unit, they liked watching the stars, called them his beacons left for us by the Omnisire. The servitor receives a jolt, raises his head and fixes his augmented eyes upon you. The large black circles of his visors are cloudy and covered in scratches. A pained moan comes from the speaker of the servant's throat. On unit status. Operational. Unit identifies itself as no data available. Error. Malfunction. The Omnisire knows. What? Pasqal sighs heavily. He is suffering. This unit has long passed its operational life expectancy. But the particularly ancient and sacred True Flesh it was awarded for its outstanding service to the fleet is still prolonging its years. Do you know him? This statement is false. My archive has no record of any encounters with this unit or any archive requests concerning it. I just know, and I grieve. Pasqal touched the servitor's pale skin covered with inky cacography. The tribespeople inscribed his body with a blessed manual of maintenance and repair. Hypothesis. Ignorant as to the true purpose of this litany, they perceived it as a health replenishing magic spell. Tech Brother Hectodon 11. This unit identifies itself as Pasqal Hanuman. Can you hear me? Do you know me? Can you tell me what happened here? A jumble of sounds comes from the servitor speaker, as if a very old man has outlived his faculty of speech, trying to utter once familiar words now strange to him. Then suddenly a spark lights up his visors, and he utters with great strain. Executing function, all reserve capacities engaged in executing primary function. We would like to go up to the observatorium. Request denied. The rattle in the servitor's voice could easily be mistaken for indignation. Access to the lift system denied. Service is in obscuriatia mode. An obscuriatia is a complete ban on holy ministry within the compound. Any and all sacred maintenance procedures are deferred until after the ban is lifted. An obscuriatia is declared when the temple has been compromised by suspected corruption before battle or in the event of a major critical incident. This unit cannot select the appropriate countermand in order without knowing the exact reason the obscuratoria was declared. Okay. Abel, anything to add? Abel looks upon the tech barbarians with a moderate degree of curiosity, without attempting to approach or interact with them. Occasionally his gaze rests on some sacred item covered with tribal imagery or otherwise desecrated, and he raises his eyebrows, evidently pained. What do you make of this camp? Sacred archaeotech and the profane have mixed, like tainted water and sacred unguent. Suddenly a smile appears on his face. This has happened before. The spirit transcends the body. The matter in which it manifests itself transformed into something more spirit-like. What do you think happened to this ship? An epiphany, followed by doubt, followed by debate, followed by judgment, No, a lack of judgment with a capital J. Able speech becomes fragmentary. A contradiction, a dilemma, resulting in antagonism. A conflict. There was a conflict here. Now everything is clear. A battle was fought here, and during preparations for it, Amulet declared the observatorium off limits, even to a fellow servants of the Messiah, the Explorators. It was an internal conflict. He expected his erstwhile tech comrades to become his enemies. Can we get in now then? A spasm in the servitor's neck makes his chin twitch. Pasqal unblocked the lift. Pasqal enunciates solemnly, accompanying each word with his binary commands. As its first pronouncement, this unit declares that no security threat to the High Observatorium is present. As a second pronouncement, this unit orders the operation of the lift system to be restored. At its third pronouncement, this unit confirms its authorization to issue that order. The servitor's jerky movement is accompanied by a shower of sparks from his mouth. His optical visor makes a series of clicks. Unit's hierarchical rank not recognized. Authorization to give orders unconfirmed. Awaiting confirmation. This unit is not part of the medical chain of command. It must introduce itself to the ship's systems for confirming its authority. Okay. So,
I always have a backup plan.
where's the trial and error over here? Volunteering too much information to an unknown entity is not a good idea. Lie and say you're an authorized inspector from the fleet's conclave. Pasqal looks at you disapprovingly and says with evident reluctance, "This unit is Tech Nuncio, sent by the Supreme Conclave of the Cognizant's fleet to investigate, presenting code regalia." The indicator on Pascal's neural cogitator glows. There's no fake aura lights up with new data as fake credentials are generated in the deep recesses of the cogitator circuitry. Okay. Requesting the reason why. Show force. I think that's right from what I do remember in the past. You know the answer. Nope. Okay, I'm just gonna have to go through this, aren't I? Something spiritual? Nope. You on a mission? Nope. Right. I'm going to pause it here while I go through lots of different variations of this. See you in a sec. Okay, I'm back. I checked it up online and I think I've got it right. Also went to the loo, got some new water, and I've got a throat lozenge in. So, tell him you're the Messiah of discontinuing. This unit is Magos Pasqal Hanneman. It's settled then as. Some identify him as the Messiah of discontinuing, although that statement is false. Okay. Show of forces in order, because that's what we had to make a roll for. And now, you know the answer yourself. we go. Tech Shaman listens to the crackling that comes in response and opens his mouth to say something, only for Pasqal to interrupt him in a tone of authority. The prefect enumerator stated that he knows my name, is familiar with my power. He respects my mission and grants me a place within the crew's chain of command. Your work here is done, my network interpreter. Pasqal looks at you and adds with slight surprise. I remember this language now, or more precisely, this unit used to know it, and now it remembers having known it. The tech priest turns toward the wall with the sacred mechanism concealed inside it, says doubtfully. In registering an anomaly, the data exchange deviated from the standard registration procedure. The prefect enumerator was commanded to limit the number of people who have claims to issue orders, including even higher rank tech priests from other ships. He was tasked with defending the observatorium as if it were under siege. Our mutual introduction rather resembled the exchange of secret passwords.
I always keep my options open.
What is Abel go for over there? Pasqal, show him the prefect enumerator's authorization that confirms your right to give orders. Hypothesis. As soon as the lift going up to the observatorium is operational, we'll be attacked. The deck guard will activate and attack us, requesting confirmation of readiness for combat. Do it. With his voice, the tech priest solemnly repeats his command to the servitor. An intricate, monumental, and piercing by Nauk aria falls from Pasqal's rocks. Encoded in its signals is Hanuman's authority to give orders on this ship. The servitor stares at Pasqal with vised eyes and bows his head awkwardly. Regally identified. I meet the venerable Magos and will execute the order presently. Lift system activated. The servitor's last words are drowned out by a howling screech that rolls across the decks, as several shrill voices wail, "Security perimeter breach. For the Omnisire." Here comes the Skitarii.
I'll make an example out of you.
Okay, we have 8 Skitarii.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. Isn't this a job for the serfs? Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Okay. Everything is way out of range. I could wait for them to come to here.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
It's as good as done.
And I'll just wait for this. Because Pasqal, given that, gives everyone buffs as well. Can't see any. I can see that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Might as well blind that one as well then. Shush, never saw that. Dodge and parry. You.
Anything else?
I should up his armor a bit. Yeah, 123%. Foreboding. Only on 8 at the moment. 42 strength and toughness. Better. That's fine. It's fine. Some feeble, that one. Extra movement to jelly bobs.
Was it you? Or
Gibbs.
trust me? I am your blade and shield. I will not die in dishonor, as the tenets demand.
I didn't quite do it.
I shall not fail. The other side awaits. This goes against the tenets. Aim for the heart next time. I will leave footprints of scarlet, as honor holds by the web.
Oh, you've got a charge, haven't you? Minus 98 AP. No, it didn't give us 98 back. I gotta say, that's a bit strange.
The shadows will see it done.
Okay. Die.
Tell me, and it is done. Don't get too cocky.
I find it hard to believe in second chances.
Shut up.
Am I getting paid for this?
And then... Damn it, in your bad line of sights. Belgian parry, you. Strength and toughness.
Anything else?
Can't see any of these still, can I? Nope. So might as well
But of course.
keep up with the buffs.
On it.
Hey, we've got a screamer.
Will do.
I'm just going to do this to you.
Was that you?
It's worse than this.
30, that's not bad.
Anything else?
Back to buffing. Eventuality. Okay. Let's just run out to here.
Taking calculated risk is in my second nature. On it.
Reckless abandon.
Didn't even flinch. I'll see to it, but your numbers mean nothing.
Everything's dead. A Toby pattern. Have a look. I think soul pattern is better. 25, 39, 50. Yep.
Always keep your eye on the price.
Mazoa pattern, plasma gun. An Ark rifle. Our sword. I missed a bit. Devotee.
Let us not dawdle.
Right. And that's well call of this episode. It's been a long time, got lots of talking. Next episode we go down the lift shaft. I find out what's going on here. Thanks for watching everyone. See you next time. Bye for now.